That was a very weird night last night. Let's go check for damage and get sprinklers back up and running. Morning. Welcome to Tuesday. Last night. This is bizarre, guys. So, everything, all the hay on the other side of the river, everything was raked other than 2 fields we were hoping a little bit. So, 100-ish acres spread out over 6 fields on each side of town. Well, about 6:30, 7 o'clock, pop-up shower forms just on the south side of town. So Cameron and I scramble. His baler was already in town. I had to get mine to town, which cost me an extra 45 minutes. We baled like crazy. We finished the ends off some fields just because we knew we weren't going to get everything done. I was like, let's just get some ends picked up so we don't have to be kicking those around while we're trying to re-rake tomorrow. And then whenever we get to the last field, we'll just start baling. We got those 30 acres done, and as we are pulling back onto the highway, the storm let go. It started pouring rain in there. How much rain? I have no idea. Either way, get back north. I'm sitting in the living room going, hey, all right, we got a nice little shower rolling through the valley here. It never left. The rain was hit and miss. It would kind of start up and then it'd let off and start up and let off. And as you can see, I'm kicking up dust behind me. So you know we didn't get much rain. But here's the weird part. 11:30 last night, that storm was still right here. For like 4 straight hours. There was thunder, lightning, on again, off again showers. And you watch radar and that cloud just sat over our area and never moved. Do I wish we would have got an inch of rain instead of 1/10 of an inch of rain? Absolutely. I'm just glad, though, it proved that it can still rain here, because since June, early June, we haven't had any help. And July has been brutal. July, we have had a lot of upper 90s to low 100s. A lot of it. A lot of wind. Not bad wind, but just when it's that hot, you know, a 15-mile-an-hour breeze just draws the life and moisture out of everything. And we have not had more than 1/10 or 2/10 of rain since early June. You know, you'll get these little showers like last night come through. You think, great, it's raining. Oh, we got 1/10 of an inch. Which, I mean, great, we got 1/10 of an inch, but in the grand scheme of things, that isn't helping anything. So we've got a lot of corn that is on the verge of just completely burning up. We're putting every bit of water we can on, but right now water comes every 10 days. So you irrigate 2 out of 10. That's all that's doing is just keeping the plant alive at this point. You're not making it better. You're just holding on to what's there, hoping for a little relief. There is a little relief in the forecast from the monsoon firing up, but we're yet to be determined if it actually shows up or not. But there's nothing we can do about that, so we just got to keep looking forward and going on. The big thing we're dealing with right now is when that storm was coming through last night, power kept kicking on and off. The friggin' tuna, oh my god. So this is kind of funny. He went to go eat with my sister and brother-in-law about 20 miles back to the west. Well, when the first couple pivots kick off, he calls. Did we have a power flash? I go, I don't know. Well, what are you doing? I go, we're scrambling to bale hay. Why? I go, where the hell are you at? It's freaking raining. It is? Where he was at, he had no idea there was a storm here. So I yelled at him, hung up. Like 2.5 hours later, he calls again. Why are pivots kicking on and off still? I go, are you still not home yet? I go, it is lightning and thunder non-stop here. Power keeps flashing on and off. I go, quit trying to restart them. Because we have all of them set to not auto restart. If we lose power, you have to manually restart them because we just don't want those pumps kicking on and off like crazy. He didn't know what was going on. He's restarting them. 10 minutes later, power had flashed. They'd shut off. Kayla was laughing because I just yelled, quit messing with things and go to bed. He wasn't even home for him to go to bed. But yeah, today's first problem is getting them all back up and running. This is kind of the area where I thought if we had any storm damage there would be some. The corn looked fine. It's just a very bizarre little shower. Alright, that is way too much rambling to start this video. Let's go turn on some pivots. First one up is the monster pivot, the 11 tower machine. We've been fighting with this system all friggin' summer. We're not getting near the pressure we're supposed to. The sprinkler guys think there's something in the line, either out there by the intake, coming under, in the pump, something causing us not to get the pressure and water flow that we're supposed to have. They were out here fighting with it yesterday. I'm just going to kick it on and see if it takes off or not. We normally run our pivots between 30 to 40 psi. This one's been running like 12 to 15. Not ideal. Freaking cell phone just lost all cell service. Gotta do this the old school way. Okay, we need to go forward. Startup delay. We should hear the water any second. There's water. There's air. Okay. Pivot number 2. On to the next one. Yeah, you can see how much rain. Cameron just sent me a Snapchat. I think he peed in his rain gauge last night because he shows over an inch of rain. I go, well, it didn't make it to this side of the river. He lives in town. Pivot number 3. Yeah, it looks muddy down there. I'm not driving down there. Pivot number 4. South one, over yonders is. Yonders is? And that makes 5 and 6. So all 6 of these pivots were running last night when the power first went out. All 6 of them currently have water flowing into the pond. The other ones that have water flowing into the pond would be Cameron's pivots. I just got messages from those. He's out there. And then Bart's pivots, I got messages from those almost 2 hours ago now. So he's been out and about. So everywhere we have water flowing into ponds, the guys have been to, it sounds like so far so good. That gasket just will not stop leaking. They put in a new gasket and it still leaks that bad. It's driving me friggin' nuts. Yeah, it sounds like so far so good everywhere, getting things up and running. Anytime you have power flashes like that much lightning, I just worry about that something get hit by lightning again. Kind of surprised that big pivot that we've been struggling with didn't get hit by lightning. It's been hit like 3 times now. Or at least that's what they claim caused it. Got a couple of pivots that the water is off that we're going to have to go mess with manually because their alignment fault. Different issues going on with them. But first I'm going to jump across the river, grab some breakfast, and go look at where we bailed. It's never a good sign when you pull into the farm and have to go through a big puddle. Or when you got standing water out in your field. Neighbor talked to the tuner this morning. He said 4/10. But from all the numbers I'm hearing, it sounds like every quarter of a mile is a completely different storm. Tuna's house, 1/2 inch. The hill, what do you say, 1/4? And the blue shop, barely 1/10. And at my house, not even registered on the rain gauge. So it was a very hit and miss rain. This field didn't blow, at least. It's still gonna have to be re-raked. The other one here west of town, it blew pretty good, which actually might help it because it was fairly heavy windrow. So blowing it around, let it air out a little faster. Oh, excuse me. The hope is maybe tomorrow, if it's sunny like they say today and 100 degrees, oh, it's gonna be humid later. Maybe tomorrow we can get in here and re-rake. Maybe, I don't know. Standing water, it's hard to make that call. Well, we had barn quality hay out here. I don't know if I said this earlier. Cameron, living in town, said he got over an inch of rain. And I can tell just looking around here, there's quite a bit. We had almost 2 loads east of here, 2 semi-loads worth. That would have been barn quality bales. Not anymore. And Bart's little baler is in here for nothing. So now, gotta take that back north the river at 17 mile an hour while riding the clutch. It's got a position sensor out on it. If you let off on the clutch entirely, it thinks what is it? It goes into neutral. So you gotta put just a touch of weight on it. I'm talking, you gotta move the pedal that far and it'll run fine. But if you let off your foot entirely, it just goes into neutral. It's an odd tractor. All right, back north of the river. Let's go see what messes we got to clean up out there. By that, I mainly mean the shop. No door. It's going to be a mess. Had a whole lot of the same old this morning, you know, doctoring cattle, stuff like that. But now, we got projects in the shop. Guys are here working on the front wall. Things are happening. Pretty sharp. Shop is a busy place. So we got the 12-row head, well, the first of the 12-row heads in, along with Cameron's chopper. Header's in pretty good shape. Not a whole lot needs done to it. Chopper should be ready to go because, well, we never used it this spring at all. We just got to put the 12-row spout back on it. Guys are welding like crazy, getting ready to put up, it looks like, the first two supports. Everyone's spread out doing other things. Pivots have been fussy, but they're running, other than one over my shoulder there. It's our one that bent in half twice. Zematic's been here for 2 days working on it. Yesterday, it just decided it only would go counterclockwise. It wouldn't go clockwise. It took him most of the day to get it running. Then when the power flashed last night, when it shut off, it said alignment fault. We went and looked, and sure enough, it's got a pretty good curve in it. I told Tuna, I go, you know, as much trouble as we're having with that one, they better be the ones to come mess with it, because it might be something more wrong. And apparently there was, because he's been here since 9, and it's still not up and running. It's freaking hot today. My pickup says 92. We actually have humidity. We don't do humidity out here on the plains. And there is 0 wind. So the air is just still. I've been told I need to go to Wally Mart, reload our shop with water and popsicles, so I'm gonna go do that and then maybe start working on a sprayer, possibly. That's cool. New wall going up. Man, that's cool to see. Our legendary communication skills, though, around here. Good God. So, I told you guys I was around Wally Mart. Go get a little bit of water and popsicles for the fridge there in the shop. On the way back, and Bart calls, oh, hey, Hector just showed up with a whole bunch. Apparently, the tuna gave him money and didn't tell anybody. So, thankfully, I had enough room in a fridge in my house. Shoved everything in there to keep it cold. We'll need it. 100 degrees every day. We're going to go through water and popsicles fast. But right now, there's not a whole lot more people you can cram in that shop. I'm coming up to the sprayer. It needs a little TLC. That's kind of gross. Sprayer. So, now that all the sorghum is planted, we are 100% done with pre-emerge. I'm going to have a decent return this year. That being said, need to really go through and thoroughly clean it, because one of these days we're going to spray alfalfa, and I really don't want to kill it. So what we got to do, the usual triple rinse, but then we're also adding in cleaning the strainers. So the strainer is like a filter in the system. If I open them up, looks like cottage cheese inside there a little bit. Hopefully, with all my rinsing I've been doing, they're not bad. I've had them really bad before. But basically, I want to get all that chemical out of here that I can to hopefully prevent any indirect damage. There's 5. So here's number 1. This guy I do not take apart though, because I got a valve right here. I flush it out every load. The big strainer, usually the dirtiest one, right here. And then you come around back and up top, I got 3, the 2 big canisters and one in the middle there for the center section. So I'm gonna put water in,
run a rinse system, go find some weeds somewhere to rinse it out, rinse everything out, drain the tank out, pull the strainers, rinse them off, put everything back together, and then run at least 2 more rinse cycles. Hopefully that'll clean out the system. And then as you can see by the outside, it really needs a pressure washer. I doubt it'll make it that far today though. Just like that. The inside's clean. Now, I didn't turn on lights. Now, like I said, it really needs a pressure washer. But I'm tired, and it might get a little windy here in a little bit as those storms keep building. Uprights are in. Beams across the top of the door are in. Got to do some on the sides. Insulation, panels. It'll be done. Guys working on the head. Checked all the oils other than gearbox leaking. Everything's good. Didn't use the header enough. We're not going to change the oil. Everything actually doesn't even need any oil, they said. 3 drums, new knives. Get the others. Hector was doing welding. There's a hell of an assembly line in here. Old Toothpick. He's getting through the painting. He hates it, but he's getting through it. He was joking with the tuna. So when can I become an actual farmhand? And Tuna laughed. Oh, you are one. This is where we all started. I painted these corrals when they were built in the 90s. I painted the corrals at the tuna's house when they were built, I think in the 90s as well. Cameron and Maddie, you guys remember Matt? Well, some of you remember Maddie from a couple of years ago before she turned to the dark side. No, deer isn't the dark side. Before she went to deer. I was trying to think of a good joke. I don't got one. Cameron and Maddie both started as painters. Surfer Boy, Grant, he started as a painter. We all start as painters. That's what you do your first year is when you're starting to learn it all. By next year, he'll be running a lot more equipment and doing a lot less painting. We'll have to find us a new painter by then. Hopefully by tomorrow night they got that a little more closed up. Because that's our forecast for the next 48 hours. More of this every night. And I'm just paranoid about pressure in that shop without a wall. And eventually the pressure is going to build high enough it has to find a release. So we leave the other door open, so hopefully it'll just act as a wind tunnel as these storms move through. But yeah, sorry. Before I got distracted, squirrel. Everybody who works here right now started as a painter. Junior, he painted for us for a couple of summers when he was in high school. So everybody starts there. Don't worry, Toothpick. You already know how to run a rake. That's kind of a big one. We just got to keep working on it. It'll eventually happen. Right now, though, I need to go check a couple of pivots, then run and check some hay. We're trying to come up with a plan for tomorrow. We just left the shop, me, Cam, and the tuna. And we've got about 5 different plans. And all of them are just depending on what everything's like right now and what happens tonight. Cameron's going to go check hay in town. Our hope, and I don't think it's going to happen, our hope is we can re-rake everything in town tomorrow morning, bring the rakes out, and come rake some stuff out here. Then take the balers, come out here right away with the rakes, bale out here, then go back to town and bale it as it dries out. Because we have a farm with 60 acres that got no rain, still perfect barn quality, that if things hadn't gone wrong, would have gotten raked this morning and baled tonight. So we've delayed it 24 hours, so it should have dried itself out plenty, and that's our hope. But my real hope is we catch another thunderstorm, it drops an inch of rain without crazy wind, without the white combine. I would just like a gentle rain, and I know that's hard to ask for this time of year. Pivots are still up and running, pressures look good, corn's looking good. Paper's blowing everywhere. This pivot, I'm trying something a little bit different on this time. Ignore the weeds. I can't mow them because there's a ridge of dirt there. I've already been yelled at by the tuna. It's like, I got it as good as I could. But instead of going around it a couple times quickly, just putting on a 1/2 inch, trying to get some water on, I'm going slow, putting on a full inch to see if it'll soak into the roots. Try and turn some of that corn around. Not all of it's going to bounce back. Maybe some of it will. Because of tillage, heavy tillage and manure and silage and haying, you know, our soil doesn't have a whole lot of structure to it, just because of our farming practices. And before you say reduced tillage isn't exactly an option, or no-till, but because our soil structure is kind of broken down, if you put on too much water too fast, you can actually just seal that ground off and water won't soak the rest of the year. So I've been trying to keep my applications of it lighter and more of them. I worry though doing that it's not soaking in, roots aren't getting that deep water like they should. So trying to change it up, see if you can't change the appearance of the crop maybe. What do you think, Rascal? Give it a boop. Tuna is bound to determine we need to be bailing tomorrow morning. So Cameron and I are on the search. He just checked in town. And he goes, the hay might be okay, but he goes, watch this. And he just kind of slide his foot and it's like slime. He goes, yeah, both the good fields in town are just wet still. Okay. So, we got 60 acres here that'll go. Plus some corners. If that happens to miss us, which I'm kind of hoping we get hit by it, but if it happens to miss us, our balers and rakes are at our furthest south farm. We got to bring them to our furthest north. Well, I guess the lake. So the lake is hiding. Let me turn my screen on so you can see where I'm pointing. So the lake is hiding in the valley right here. Where them trees are right there-ish, that's the edge of the lake. So it's right on the other side. So then the farm ground that you see leading up to the grassland out yonders is the lake farm. Technically it goes a 1/2 mile further north than here, but it's close enough. Either way, sounds like it's gonna be a long day of doing a whole lot of driving around. I just seen lightning north, scared the hell out of me. Almost forgot there was a storm there. Long day of driving around with equipment, trying to get done what we can get done, because these pop-up showers, you gotta go. So if you go somewhere you can go, doesn't matter the drive, you gotta go get it. All right, guys, we'll go home. I think Penny's ready to go home. What do you think, Penny? Oh. Boop. All right, see you guys tomorrow.